Okay, and what, if any, impact do things like autism, ADD, and things like that have on the triunal structure and the way our belief systems are formed?
I'm going to put this very simply. The effect that those kinds of situations or conditions have is to either make the subconscious mind more or less open to bringing through certain ideas in a very specific way. So in other words, the subconscious mind may now be relegated to bringing only certain things through, but bringing them through more fully than it ever would for a quote unquote typical trilateral conscious mind. So it depends upon what, again, the theme of exploration is, what this spirit or soul has decided to experience, and how it will use the subconscious mind as a gateway to bring through those specific things that are relevant for the experience that you are calling autism or those other conditions you have named.
And as
So
far
it's
as,
like having the subconscious mind have a way of doing slightly different kinds of duties, slightly different kinds of filtering or not filtering, depending upon the theme that is being explored by that particular consciousness.
and with multiple personality disorder, is that a mental issue or is it a spiritual issue?
Well, it can be both, because again, remember, as above, so below. So there can be affectations in the mental consciousness that will allow for that particular being to experience those things that may originate in a other dimensional or spiritual nature. But the idea fundamentally, fundamentally, and again, not for every case, but fundamentally, is that an individual is tapping into multiple parallel realities, multiple versions of themselves, without necessarily having the filtering system or the control system imposed upon it that would allow them to function in an orderly fashion, communicating with one another in a way that still allows the individual to function, quote unquote, normally in your reality. So it's a type of tapping into multiple dimensions, multiple parallel realities without the ability to focus in any one particular one in an effective way, but again, can be done for a variety of reasons that may be personal to that particular consciousness experiencing that.
So is the person tapping into multiple spirits and having them all share one body, or?
No, it's not the sharing in the body, but it's an expression through the body, if that's what you mean by that. They don't all reside in the body per se, but the body can function as a reflector or a mirror for different versions of spirit and consciousness and physical beings in other parallel realities temporarily. So again, sort of like your telephone analogy, you can have different friends speak to you through the same phone, but it's not like they're inhabiting the phone. It's like the idea is that the phone and your body is a device that can, based on its frequency, allow different voices and different experiences to come through temporarily.
So is creativity from the higher mind, the subconscious mind, or the unconscious mind?
It is mostly from the higher mind, although there can be versions of it that filter into the unconscious and subconscious and even the conscious mind in the form of inspiration. But as we said, the idea is that the higher mind is the conceiver. The brain is the receiver, and the physical conscious mind is the perceiver. So what you're calling creativity is a conception that originates in the higher mind, in the higher self, and filters down in whatever ways are relevant through the unconscious, subconscious, and into the conscious mind in ways that allow the conscious mind, the conscious being, the personality to be creative. But all of that comes from source and therefore filters down, so to speak, through the higher mind to the conscious mind, the triune conscious mind.
How does that relate to the higher mind, to the oversoul, to the higher, to the unconscious, subconscious? I notice there's confusion often.
All right. Again, without going into too much detail and too many layers and levels, because you can create a number of them anyway for various purposes. Of course, everything starts with all that is source. It all comes from that. It's all an expression of that. But it goes down into different levels of oversoul, whether you want to say it's a universal oversoul or a galactic oversoul or a solar system oversoul or a planetary oversoul is relatively arbitrary. But it goes from the oversoul level into the individual soul level. And then the individual soul creates the idea of the non-physical higher mind and the triune physical mind. Then through the experiences of the physical mind, you create the concept of the unique spirit that is germane and unique to that particular physical experience. And that becomes part of the soul. But the idea, again, is that it usually goes from oversoul to higher mind, to unconscious to subconscious to conscious mind, that then through its experience creates a representative spirit that is a unique representation of the experience of that particular personality that then resides in the soul and the oversoul and all that is from that point forward, speaking linearly.
Awesome. Mind filtering UFOs. Are there does the unconscious and subconscious minds that are responsible for filtering out things filter out UFOs, fairies, elementals, other beings from the conscious mind and limit what it can receive? And if so, is it being due to negative beliefs or is it for other reasons?
Both. It can be for fear-based beliefs that it's doing that filtering. It can be something that the conscious mind believes it's not ready for. That would cause upset and imbalance within it to perceive those things because of its theme of exploration. And it can also simply be that the being is not ready in timing for the idea. And it simply can be outside the theme of exploration. But again, there are limitations there that are dissolving. You are becoming more aware that these beings exist, that these forms of consciousness exist, that there are ET beings, that there are extra dimensional beings, that there are elemental beings. There are different aspects of consciousness that are connected to your planet in a variety of levels. And therefore, it's really simply a matter of when it's the appropriate timing for you to allow and open up and dissolve the barriers between the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious minds to the degree where they can perceive more in the conscious mind of what is all around it all the time. The unconscious mind is always aware of these things, just as the higher mind is. But again, it's a reservoir that holds these things back because the subconscious mind determines from the belief system of the conscious mind what the conscious mind is ready to perceive and experience and interact with based on the theme of exploration and the belief systems that exist at that moment.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, you've said that to access the subconscious mind, unconscious mind, and so on, that we have to raise our vibration.
Yes.
But how do we know that we are in that state? How do we know that we've accessed the subconscious or the unconscious mind? And do you have a tip to achieve the most frequent type of vibration needed to access the subconscious and the unconscious?
Last question first. Follow the formula because
Right.
it leaves nothing relevant out and raises your vibration when you're acting on your passion. And the question, how do we know when we're there, will become obvious when you actually have raised your vibration. To ask the question means the vibration is not high enough. When you are in the high enough frequency, that question will no longer be relevant and it will be exactly apparent what level you're on, what vibrational state you're in. So raising your vibration will eliminate the need to ask a question, when am I in that vibration? How do I know when I'm in that vibration? It's a self-canceling idea.
Is there a frequency level that you can mention that you would need to be at in order to receive that information?
It may be slightly different for everyone, but in general, it usually happens for most humans on your planet when you have achieved something above 180,000 cycles per second.
So if you're in the channeling state, so to speak, or, you're following your passion, so you're in that state. There's
Yes.
different levels of excitement and full consciousness commitment to the experience, because maybe things are running in the background,
Let me
etc.
correct that.
Okay.
There are different expressions of excitement, but there aren't different levels of excitement. Excitement is excitement. Passion is passion. It can express itself in different ways, and there can be different vibrational states to those expressions, but the raw core idea of passion or excitement is a pure vibrational state without different levels in it. That's the point we're making, is that when you're actually functioning more holistically in the vibration of passion and excitement, the idea of much of the so-called confusion about what level you're on disappears, because by definition, what comes with that is a complete recognition by definition of exactly what pure state you're in.
Okay, so I know that a lot of people, after they experience you and the communications from you, they feel a deep sense of inspiration and excitement about their lives and what they can do.
Yes.
Comparing that to, say, someone who loves to paint, but while they're painting, they're thinking about the bills they have to pay or something like that,
Even though they're not in their passion. They're not in their passion at that moment.
So you would be able to feel that inspired sense that we can feel after interacting with you. That would be a true indication of that higher frequency, yes?
Yes, stay there.
Okay.
No matter what you have to think of. The idea is, again, you must remember that this all happens in perfect timing. There will be a time when, if it is important for you to ponder the idea of a bill, it will come in the form that is still part of your passion. It won't be a distraction. It won't be a less than experience. It won't distract you from the passion of the moment. You'll find the right time to be passionate about the idea of paying a bill, if that is something that is truly necessary as part of your passion. So these things come in pure form. They don't obstruct each other. They don't interact in a way that is destructive to one another. It still allows you to come in a form in perfect timing that allows you to experience each and every one of those things in its pure, exciting form. So allow yourselves, once again, to relax, to let go of the cares of the day, to be in the here and the now as best as you possibly can be without worrying whether or not you're in the here and now. Just allow yourself to let go to the best you can. Deep breathing will help. Allow yourselves to relax and allow whatever accompaniment visually or musically you wish to have to flow along with you, and just float easily and comfortably on the stream of consciousness that you are. And allow yourself to see the triad relationship between the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind of your physical being. As the unconscious mind passes information like handing it off on a silver platter to the subconscious mind, who then may look at what's there and may pick and choose certain things referring to the physical conscious mind and saying, well, this belief system won't necessarily allow this person to absorb this information from the unconscious mind this way, but perhaps if I turn it around a little bit, perhaps if I make it move over here, perhaps it will then be the key that fits the lock in the physically conscious mind. And so by having rearranged things according to what may work better for the conscious mind for now, maybe even removing some of those items from the silver platter, passing along that silver platter to the conscious mind, who then may have a slight dawning or an inspiration or a realization or a thought or a synchronicity that makes them face a certain idea or brings up their belief within them as they're acting on their passion, the belief that's out of alignment with them, and gets them to ponder and take that pause and take that moment and look at the information that has been delivered by the subconscious in ways that will allow the physical mind to work with it comfortably. Now, there may be some things that come across as a little challenging, and that's all right. And the physical mind can take those things and rearrange them again on the silver platter and say, well, this will work for me, and this feels like fun, and I think I can look at it this way, and I think I'm willing to explore my negative beliefs and fear-based beliefs in this way, and then hand that silver platter back to the subconscious mind and let it work on it, whether in dream state or whether physically awake or whether in meditations, doesn't matter. But then the subconscious mind can say, oh, all right, well, the physical mind accepted this one in this way and this one in this way, so I'll leave those where they are. And it maybe rearrange a few other things and maybe open some doorways here and doorways there that might be more palatable to the physical mind. And I will hand the silver platter back up to the unconscious mind to see if the unconscious has any new information it would like to put on that platter. And it will hand it back to the subconscious mind and say, oh, well, there's some new things here, new configurations to look at. And I will check with the belief systems and see what the physical mind is willing to handle, willing to look at, willing to process, willing to admit, willing to allow, willing to accept about itself. And I will make maybe a few minor arrangements this time, not as many as before, because now the physical mind is willing to look at these things and willing to accept synchronicity into its life to give it the information that it needs. And I will hand the silver platter back to the physical mind, and it may say, oh, well, that's delightful, or I'm not so sure about this yet, or maybe I will turn this one this way, but this one is perfectly fine, and that one is perfectly fine. And I will hand that back to the subconscious and back to the unconscious and back to the subconscious and back to the conscious. And that process will continue to spring back and forth in whatever way, shape, or form will allow the belief systems to slowly or quickly or whatever way is comfortable for the challenges that the conscious mind faces to be dealt with by the subconscious mind in a way that works for the conscious mind and in a way that allows the unconscious mind to add more information when necessary, when the timing is correct, and pass it again through the subconscious mind that will detail it and will alter it and will adapt it to what the belief system says the physical mind can handle, and then pass it along again to the conscious mind to consider it and allow oneself to work with it. And again, the subconscious mind will help along by doing things in the dreamscape that may be easier for the conscious mind to deal with, and process things in the dream that may prevent the conscious mind from having to experience certain things in physical reality, whatever is the path of least resistance that still allows the conscious mind to accept the theme of exploration that the higher mind chose when it became the physical mind, to explore, to know itself from this new perspective and this new point of view in all that is, and allow that physical mind to become honed and polished and aligned in a way that is beautiful and harmonious and brilliant and shining and strong and powerful and loving. All these things work together and work with the belief system in this way so that you have all these mechanisms within you working for you. So know that they are there, and know that all the information you need is being handed to you on a silver platter all the time, or a golden one or a crystal one, whatever substance you wish, doesn't matter. You invent your own with your imagination, because you're talking to the higher mind through all of this process anyway, through this triad structure. This is how you're communicating with the higher mind, allowing the unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind to work together with the belief systems in a more harmonious way so that you can experience a life of expanded consciousness, a life of creativity, a life of joy, and experience the truth of who you really are as an aspect and a reflection of all that is, in this clever way of knowing yourself, this unique way of experiencing yourself, to add to the experience of what and who you are as an aspect of all that is. So allow yourselves to relax into this process and let it work for you. Keep breathing through it. Allow your life to open and expand, and allow synchronicity to present to you ways in which you can allow the subconscious and unconscious to work for you more efficiently by being willing to explore your own belief systems, letting go of those ones that are fear-based and negative, and opening up into the opportunities available to you to receive and download
more inspiration and more information every moment and every day in your life so that you can move forward as a being of light in love, and in joy, and in peace. Allow yourself now to just relax into this, breathe into it, absorb it, and enjoy it. Make it your own. Have fun with it. Play with it. Meditate on it. Act it out however you wish. Ground it in your physical world, and it will serve you. Breathe into it, and breathe it out. Breathe into it, and breathe it out. Breathe into it, and breathe it out. Float freely in the knowledge that this mechanism is working for you in the direction of your journey, and flow through your life with ease and gratitude and appreciation and love. Be at peace and welcome home. Our unconditional love to you all. Good day.